What's up, beautiful people? It's Nasai of Nasai's Eyes Makeup Artistry, back with a sunset look. Here's my before, and here's my after. Now let's get into it. Now we use our Mary Kay foundation primer because it creates a perfect canvas for your foundation. But make sure that you have cleansed and moisturized your face before even starting. Make sure that canvas is on point first. Now you know I always start with my brows, so I have my Mary Kay eyebrow eyeliner brush. We're going to get those strays all in line, get in formation, and then from there we're going to start framing the face and getting our brows together. Although Mary Kay does have a brow pencil, I like to use the eyeliner that they have in deep brown, and I just pretty much frame where my eyebrows will go. If you don't have eyebrows, it's a good clean line to go ahead and get that brow where you want it. And then from there we just keep going and fill everything in with our eyebrow kit from Ruby Kisses. Now as you can see, I am using an angled brush. It works very well as far as filling in your eyebrows, and yes, sometimes you do have to hold your head to the side to get that angle just right. But yeah, the angle brush helps really good as far as filling in the brows, making sure it's full at the front, and then it gets a little bit lighter on the ends. And you'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Remember, brows are sisters, not twins. I used Mary Kay's eye primer and their concealer brush. Now I use that so that I'll be able to apply the primer. With the primer, it helps as far as smudging and creasing, and it also helps your eye color last longer as well. I use LA Girl Pro Concealer, and that's mainly so I can define the eyebrows. As you see, I go right up under the brow that I created, and it lifts that eyebrow as well as gives me a base for when I start to apply any eye color. As you can see, by adding the concealer, it pops the eye just a little bit more. Sometimes I go above the eyebrow to define that as well. You can go in with the same color or with one that's a little bit closer to your skin tone, but it does still help define the eyebrow either way. And what you do to one eye, you must do to the other. So just repeat the same process on the other eye. Now I'll take my MAC Prep and Prime translucent powder and I'll put it all over the eyelid to help with any creasing that may happen with the concealer that's just been added. Alright, now it's time to add some color. So we're going to use our Coastal Scents palette, our Eye Smudger brush from Mary Kay, and we're going to use that fourth color from the bottom, third from the right. And we're going to use our Eye Smudger brush and go right in the crease. So if you're having a hard time figuring out where your crease is, if you feel on your eye, you'll feel where the eyeball is under the skin. It's going to go right in that crease there. Now, if you have hooded lids or different eye shape, it may be a little bit different for you. But definitely, if you do have an eye shape like mine, you go right in at that certain point. Be sure to comment below if you do need me to do a tutorial with different eye shapes, and I'll do my best to help you figure out, where you need to have that land. Now, just for the sake of making sure that that line stays straight, I'm going to add some old little labels laying around. So I'm going to use that to help create that perfect defined line for my eyeshadow. If you have tape, you can use that, but completely up to you. This is not a necessary step that you have to do, but I like it precise. We're going in with MAC's Eyeshadow Gold Mine, right above that red oranges color. So the gold is kind of simulating the sun. So if you do get a little bit on the reddish orange color, that's completely fine, but try to stay right above that crease. Alright, so we've done the same thing to the other eye, but now we're going to add the same medium beige concealer that we did for our eyebrows. We're going to add that to kind of set a semi-cut crease. It won't be as defined, but we're going to do a little bit of a cut crease right on the eye. So that's going to go a little bit under where that reddish orange color is. So it's going to cover a little bit of the work you just did. However, it's going to create that differentiation with the colors of that sun setting. One thing to be very careful of when you're doing a cut crease is to make sure that your eyes stay low. If you do look up or you have to move your eyes too much, that cut crease will be all over the red and you won't be able to see where it is. So make sure you keep your eyes low so that it has time to dry. Okay, hopefully you've given some time for that concealer to dry. Now we're going in with Vivante's Mineral Eyes eye color. It's called Copper Bronze. So that color is going to go right over where you put the concealer. I'll be adding Vivante's Eye Shimmer in Caribbean Sea on the outer corners of the eye. And then the color Buff will go right on top of where the gold mine was, right under the brow to highlight that area. This is my favorite liquid foundation brush. I'll be using the old formula in Bronze 1 and just a little bit of the NYX Liquid Illuminator Born to Glow. Just make a couple swatches on the face and get to blending. You may have noticed I do have on eyeliner now. I used Mary Kay's liquid eyeliner pen and pretty much just gave a little bit of a wing using my guide from me having the labels on. So that helped, and then I added some concealer to define that as well. But we're going to blend it all away so it won't even matter. got a little bit on my scarf, but it's cool. I do love this brush mainly because it gets in places that some brushes can't. Like going around that curve of that eyebrow, very, very helpful. Going in around the nose and the eye area. This brush is very helpful as far as getting there, and it's very soft. So definitely no hard bristles or anything like that, but it definitely gets where you need it to go. Right down the bend of that nose. Can't think of what, the bridge of the nose, yes. Going down the bridge of the nose, it helps to get into those areas that are hard to get to. Please be sure to get your neck. You don't want that line of demarcation so everyone knows where your foundation stops and your skin begins. Now we're going back in with our trusty medium beige concealer and our concealer brush so we can highlight those areas. You want to highlight the areas that are lifted on your face. So that means right under the eye, on both sides, of course. Try to get as close to the nose as you can. You're going to blend that out, but definitely go ahead and make sure you get in those areas. You want to get on your forehead, right in the center, the bridge of your nose, and you're also going to get right under where that good cheekbone is. So for now, just put a little bit on there. You can always add more. Make sure you get both sides in both the same areas. And like I said, if you need to add some more, add some more. But we're going to blend that out as well. Some on your cheek area and then right under your nose are good places for your highlight to be. Remember, everybody's highlight is different. Everybody's facial shape is different. So just keep in mind the raised areas of your face is where that highlighter needs to go. So now it's time to blend in everywhere that I put the concealer. So I'm going to use my Sigma Concealer Blend Kabuki F79 and just going to blend everywhere that the concealer was placed on those raised areas. So right above the jawline, the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the chin, underneath the nose, everywhere that we put that concealer, we're going to blend that in. As you can see, the light tried to act a little tricky here, but it also gives you a good indication of where your highlighted areas will be. You see the forehead is lifted, the cheeks are lifted, so it just gives you kind of an idea. So I wanted to make sure I kept that in to see if it helped out just a little bit. So now I'm taking Ben Nye's banana powder and I'm adding that on the same areas where I put the highlighter. Now you can use the same Sigma Concealer Blend Kabuki brush, or you can take a cosmetic wedge and you can put it on these same areas, but make sure you're putting it in the areas where you put the concealer. It's going to help as far as highlighting. For some people, this is the baking area. So you may want to leave that sitting on your face for a while, but completely up to you if you want to bake or if you just want to put it on there for a few minutes so you can get that lift. contouring. I don't do a lot of heavy contouring, that's just my preference. So I'm putting this light medium Mary Kay bronzer right in the hollow of my jawline. So you'll see me put it there. You'll see right under the jawline, right across the forehead. That'll blend as well. And then on the sides of the bridge of the nose to thin out your nose. And right in the middle of your cupid's bow. As you can see, I'm squeezing the brush hairs. This is helping me to contour the nose. So that's going to help slim the nose down, and the highlight in the middle is what's going to make the nose appear slimmer. Alright, I'm using Sigma's large angled contour brush, F40, and I'm simply just using that to get the excess highlighting banana powder off, blending in the areas where the contour and the highlight meet, just pretty much getting it an overall blend, just making sure I haven't missed anything. Time to add some color back to these cheeks. I'm using Mary Kay's blush in the color Shy Blush. This is one of my favorite colors. I use it on a lot of my clients. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites, and I don't think it will ever go old. Yes, I did just add some blush to my nose to give it a little highlight. I'm also taking a Clinique powder brush and using Transparency Bronze Clinique Blended Face Powder and going all over the face to blend everything in. For my lip liner, I am using Clinique's Intense Cosmo and just filling out those lips, making sure that there's no parts on the edges that are not covered. I like to make sure that my lips stay looking full, so I make sure that I get every little corner of my lip. Now for the lipstick, I'm using Clinique's Barely. Definitely a good lip color. It's moisturized, and of course, you know, it's a nice light pink color. It's almost barely nude. And I go back in with the Intense Cosmo and kind of give it just a little bit of more color on the ends of my lips. Now, some of you can leave the look here, but I like to add lashes on. Not all the time, but it's definitely preference. When I'm actually like doing a photo shoot or going out for a night out. Now, what I do as far as putting on my eyelashes, I take Duo eyelash glue in black, and I put just a strip of it on my hand. And while I'm waiting for that to get tacky, I measure out the eyelash, make sure it's going to fit. And so by the time I do all that with both eyelashes, that gives me a chance to make sure that it's going to fit. Don't have to worry about taking it on, taking it off. And then, you know, I just dip the eyelash in the glue, and it should be tacky by then. And then I go ahead and place it. You can use a tool to put on the eyelashes, but it's completely up to you. I have fingernails, I have fingers. Using my hands work better for me, so it's completely up to you. Now the placement of your false eyelash should be right in between the skin of your eyelid and the beginning of your natural lashes. It should never be on your actual skin. Here's a tip. When you are done putting on your lashes and they've dried, take the eyeliner eyebrow spoolie. Of course, if you have disposable wands, you can use those as well. And I use those to blend out the lash with my lash. It helps it look more natural, but also blends in them together. Once you've done that, then put on some mascara if you like. I like to do top and bottom, but completely up to you. Add that mascara on, give them an extra little va-va-voom, and then spray your setting spray, your finishing spray on, so that your face is set for the rest of the day. You shouldn't need too many touch-ups other than your lips. If you perspire a little bit, just make sure you dab. Don't wait. Thank you so much for joining me on this sunset look. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Questions? Put them below. See you next week.